Good day! So ngayong araw, i-discuss natin ang iba't ibang klase ng quantitative research at ang importance nito across the field. So after going through the lesson, you are expected to discuss the kinds of quantitative research, identify the kinds of quantitative research to be used in the study, and cite the importance of research across the field. So we have research design. So when we say research design, it refers to the overall strategy that you choose to integrate the different components of the study coherently and logically, thereby ensuring you will effectively address the research problem. So pag sinabi nating research design, ito ay isang plano. Isang malinaw na plano kung ano ba yung direksyon or kasagutan sa mga katanungan sa iyong research. Ang research design ay magsisilbing outline o framework upang maisagawa ng isang mananaliksik ng maayos ang kanyang pananaliksik. So, para maging malinaw kung ano yung takbo ng ating research, so kailangan mayroon tayong tinatawag na research design. So, ano ba yung gagamitin natin na framework o outline sa ating gagawing pananaliksik. So, there are two broad classifications in quantitative research as shown in the diagram. So, meron tayong dalawang klase ng quantitative research. So, makikita natin, meron tayong experimental at meron tayong non-experimental research design. So, in the experimental research design, meron tayong tatlo. So, meron tayong true experimental research design, mayroon tayong quasi-experimental research design, at meron tayong pre-experimental research design. So, tatlo yan. So, sa ating non-experimental research design, meron tayong descriptive research design. So, sa ating descriptive research design, meron tayong survey. Pwede tayong gumamit tayo ng survey. Pwedeng correlational. Pwedeng ex post facto studies. We have comparative, evaluative, and methodological. So, kung titingnan natin dito sa true experimental, meron siyang tatlong classification. So, makikita natin meron siyang pre-test design, meron tayong post-test design, at meron tayong post-test only or control group design. Sa atin namang quasi-experimental research design, we have non-equivalent control group design and we have time series design. At sa atin namang pre-experimental research design, we have one-shot case study and one group pre-test post-test design. Okay, so yun yung ating classification or types of quantitative research, experimental and non-experimental. So, pipili tayo kapag tayo mag-research. Ano ba yung gagamitin natin? Experimental or non-experimental? And then, after natin mag-decide kung experimental or non-experimental yung ating gagamitin, mag-iisip din tayo kung alin sa experimental ang ating i-apply or alin sa non-experimental yung ating gagamitin. So, experimental research design. Pag sinabi nating experimental research design, sabi dyan, adhere strict to procedures of the scientific method. So, ibig sabihin, kung magamit tayo ng procedure, di ba kapag nagtitest tayo sa science, kung magamit tayo ng proper procedure, tinatawag nating scientific method, so yun siya. So, and this is also done in the laboratory. Usually, sa lab natin siya ginagawa. It allows the researcher to control the situation. So, maaaring makontrol ng researcher yung situation. It allows the researcher to answer the question, what causes something to occur? So, yun. So, maaaring sagutin. Okay? Or maaaring hanapin ng researcher yung tanong na, bakit nangyari yun? Ano ba yung reason? Bakit nangyari yun? Yun. So, ang layunin ng experimental research design ay sukatin lamang ang epekto at pagkakaiba ng mga variables sa pamamagitan ng pagmamanipulate dito. Yan, pwede nyo i-manipulate. At tatanungin niya, what causes something to occur? And it allows the researcher to identify the cause and effect relationship between variables and to distinguish the placebo effects from the treatment effect. Yan. Cause and relationship. Pwede niyang pag-aralan yung cause and relationship ng after the treatment. Supports the ability to limit alternative explanation to infer the direct relationship in the study. So, yun. So, gusto nating alamin dito yung magiging epekto ng isang variable sa mga bagay at ano yung pagbabago na ating maobserbahan. So, ibig sabihin, yan, gagamit tayo ng mga variables. Maaari natin pag-aralan yung epekto. So, yun. Ano ba yung tinatawag nating variable? Okay, pag sinabi nating variable, ito ay tumutukoy sa isang bagay na maaaring i-observe o sukatin ng isang mananaliksik. So, we have true experimental design. Yun, under siya ng experimental design. So, we have true. Controls for both time-related and group-related threats. So, we have two feature mark or true experiment, two or more differently treated groups, and random assignment to the group. The feature requires the researcher to have control over the experimental treatment and the power to place subjects in group. It offers the highest internal validity of all design. So, when we say true experimental, yun na nga, meron siyang independent tsaka dependent, meron siyang pre-test and post-tests. So, tinitest natin sa pamamagitan ng pagkaroon ng dalawang group. Yun. Ang isang group ay exposed sa intervention o experimental group or treatment group. At isang grupo naman ay hindi exposed sa intervention or experimental group. So, gusto nating obserbahan kung mayroon bang pagkakaiba, okay, sa ginamitan ng experimental tsaka sa hindi ginamitan ng experimental. So, yun siya. True experimental research design. So, yun. Yun na, example niya. The effect of virgin coconut oil to coronavirus. So, yan. Ano ba yung epekto ng coconut oil? So, maaring kukuha tayo ng isang group na gagamit ng virgin coconut oil. Parang silang patient ng COVID. Yung isa gagamitan ng hindi. Walang coconut oil. Yung isa naman gagamitan naman ng virgin coconut oil. So, ano ba yung effect? So, malalaman natin kung talaga nakaka-cure nga yung virgin coconut oil. Another effect of manihot is colenta or kasaba and reducing blood sugar among those diagnosed with diabetes. So, pwede nating alamin or experiment kung ano ba talaga yung effect ng kasaba sa isang tao may diabetes. Meron bang changes nung ginamitan mo siya ng kasaba or wala? Another one is the quasi-experimental research. So the word quasi means partial or half or pseudo. The researcher can collect more data either by scheduling more observation or finding more existing measures. Participants are not randomly designed. So parang pareho lang siya sa true experimental research design. Ngunit yung pagkakaiba nito ay hindi nag-assign randomly ng participants. Okay, walang hindi natin alam kung saan yung treatment group and control group. Pero, inoobserbahan natin sila. Okay, so yun. Quasi-experimental design. Example, the use of traditional versus cooperative learning groups on students' academic performance. Yun, gusto nating malaman kung ano ba yung mas effective. Traditional ba na setting ng pagtuturo na si teacher magdi-discuss or gamitan natin ng cooperative learning. So, titingnan natin kung saan yung mas effective at i-compare natin yung kanilang academic performance. Yung grade nila, kung saan yung mas mataas. yung gumamit ba ng traditional learning or gumamit ng cooperative learning. Next is the effect of localized module in mathematics to the students' computational skills. Yun, localized, ginamit ng teacher na module para sa pag-compute. So, baka may strategy yung teacher kung mas effective ba siya or hindi. That is quasi-experimental research design. Next is the pre-experimental research design. In a pre-experimental research design, either a group or various dependent groups are observed for the effect of the application of an independent variable, which is presumed to cause change. It is the simplest form of experimental research design and is treated with no control applying with experimental design with the list's internal validity. So, ang pre-experimental research design ay pinakasimple raw na klase ng research design pagdating sa experimental. So, walang comparison na gagawin, okay, between the experimental and control group dahil lahat ng group ay exposed sa intervention. So, lahat sila ay exposed sa intervention. Okay, ano kayang pwede maging example dito ng pre-experimental design? Dependent groups are observed to prefer the effect of the application of independent, which is presumed to cause change, with no control group applying with the experimental research design. So, yun. So, we have one-shot case study under siya ng pure experimental design. This type of experimental study uses only one dependent variable or group is considered. Isang dependent variable. The study is carried out after some treatment that was presumed to cause change, making it a post-test of the study. So, isa lang yung ating dependent variable na kinukonsider dito. Okay? Next is the one-group pre-test-post design. The research design combines both post-tests and pre-test studies by carrying out a test on a single group before and after treatment is administered, with the former being administered at the beginning of the treatment. So, one group, pre-test, post-test, research design. So, isa lang yung grupo. Okay? Sa post-tests, isang grupo lang yung nag-try or manipulate. And then, sa pre-test, sila din. Yun. So, with the former being administered at the beginning of the treatment. So, yun. So, isa lang yung respondent sa pre-test, sila rin yung respondent sa post-tests after the treatment is administered. Kung mayroon bang changes doon sa post-test or halimbawa, ginamitan siya ng nagpa-exam ka tapos mayroon kang intervention na ginamit. Kung nag-post-test ka ba kung may changes ba or wala after the treatment. Next is static group comparison. In a static group comparison study, 2 or more groups are placed under observation. So, dalawa or maraming grupo yung under observation where only one group is subjected to some treatment while the other group are held static. All of the groups are post-tested and the observed differences between groups are assumed to be result of the treatment. So, meron lang tayong dalawa or maraming grupo na inobserbahan at isang grupo yung static. So, yun. All the groups are post-tested and the observed differences between groups are assumed to be a result of treatment. So, inobserbahan yung bawat isa at kung ano yung resulta, ibig sabihin yun yung resulta ng treatment. That is static group comparison. So, sabi nga natin kanina, kung mayroon tayong experimental research design na ginagawa natin sa laboratory, meron din tayong non-experimental research design. Yan, do not use treatment or intervention. The researcher observes the phenomena as they occur naturally and no external variables are introduced. The variable are not deliberately manipulated nor in the setting controlled. Researchers collect data without making changes or introducing treatments. So, sa non-experimental, wala tayong ginagamit na treatments. So, talagang inoobserbahan lang natin kung ano yung nangyayari. Okay, kung gusto nating malaman, kung ano ba yung mga sa kanila, nangyayari. Yun, gusto natin, kung hindi natin minamanipulate yung mga variable. Okay, so when we say descriptive research, this design is concerned with describing the nature, characteristics, and components of the population or phenomenon. It was designed to give answers to the questions of who, what, where, when, and how, who was linked with the research problem. Notice that descriptive research does not answer the question why. So yun, kapag yung research ninyo ay ang kanyang nagsasagot sa tanong na who, what, when, where, and how, ibig sabihin, yung inyong research is descriptive research. Pero kung ang inyong research ay sumasagot sa question na why, so ibig sabihin, it is experimental research because it does not seek to explain why certain things happen. So descriptive research design is used if you will going to develop theories and you want to justify clinical practices or identify problems. Okay, halimbawa ng descriptive research. Yan, gusto mong malaman kung ilang oras ba yung ginagamit ng mga students sa paggamit ng social media. Yan, descriptive siya. How many? Number of malnourished students who failed in the achievement test. So, ilan ba yung number of students na nag-fail, malnourished students na nag-fail sa achievement test? And how healthy is the food served during recess in the public school? So, nag-answer siya ng what, when, where, and why. Another one, we have survey. So, a research design used when the researcher intends to provide a quantitative or numeric descriptions of trends, attitudes, or opinions of a population by studying a sample of that population. Yon. Gusto mo survey, simpleng survey lang. Diba? Gusto mo lang malaman yung attitudes, opinions, perceptions, or behavior of the respondents. So, pwede natin siyang gamitan ng survey. So, yun, magtatanong lang tayo by means of face-to-face. Gagamitin natin ng questionnaire. Or pwede natin silang tawagan, phone call. Or pwede natin silang tanungin through messenger, emails, or pwede tayong gumamit ng Google Forms. Okay, halimbawa nga, gusto nating malaman the senior high school student survey on determining customer satisfaction. So yun, halimbawa, gusto nating malaman kung sino ba yung mga estudyante na satisfied sa service na binibigay ng canteen. Yon. So, malalaman natin kung, for example, out of 100 students, ilan ba yung satisfied doon sa service na binibigay ng canteen or hindi. Halimbawa lang yun. The students' attitude towards or opinions regarding students like services like canteen, clinic, security, guidance and counseling service, and the like. Yun. So, nating malaman kung satisfied ba sila sa clinic, sa security, sa guidance, counseling services. At kung halimbawa hindi sila satisfied doon, so yun yung maaring changes na pwedeng gamitin ng researcher para magkaroon ng improvement yung kanilang services. Next is correlational. It is a systematic investigation of the nature of the relationship or associations between and among variables without necessarily investigating causal reason underlying them. So, may gusto tayong alamin. Okay? Correlational. Yung relasyon ng isang variable sa isang variables din. Halimbawa, if the pre-board examination results can be used to predict performance in the licensure examination for teachers, let then the higher the pre-board result, the higher, most likely, the score in the LET. So, meron kasi tinatawag na pre-board. Bago mag-board yung teacher, mag-board exam, may tinatawag na pre-board. Kung titingnan kung mataas ba yung nakuha. So, kapag mataas yung, ibig sabihin mataas yung kuha doon sa pre-board exam, may possibility na mataas din yung result sa licensure examination. So, iti-test kung totoo nga ba talaga. If the reading comprehension skills of the senior high school student has relationship to their mathematical skills. Yun, kapag magaling ba yung student sa comprehension, magaling din siya sa mathematics or hindi. So, gusto natin i-compare or yung i-correlate. May relationship ba yung magpagalingan man sa comprehension skills sa pag-solve ng mathematical skills or pagkakaroon ng mathematical skills. Number 3 is ex post facto research design. This refers to non-experimental designs that are used to investigate causal relationships. They examine whether one or more pre-existing conditions could cause subsequent differences in group of subject. So, yun. Gusto nating malaman, non-experimental siya na ginagamit sa causal relationship. They examine whether one or more pre-existing condition could have caused subsequently differences in group. Halimbawa, what is the effect of homeschooling to the academic performance of the student? So, ano ba yung epekto ng homeschooling sa academic performance of the students? Mas tumaas ba yung grade ng estudyante nung sa bahay lang sila nag-aaral or hindi? Okay, so that is. We have comparative design. Involves comparing and contrasting two or more samples of the study subjects on one or more variables. After often a single point of time, specifically this design is used to compare two distinct groups based on selected attributes such as knowledge level, perceptions, and attitudes, physical or psychological symptoms. So, ano naman itong comparative? From the word compare. So, pwede natin i-compare yung dalawa. Okay, base ko sa kanilang kanilang physical or psychological symptoms. Halimbawa, gusto natin i-compare yung taga-province ba or taga-city. For example, saan sa kanila yung mas maraming health issues? Yung taga-probinsya ba, maraming sakit? Or mas maraming sakit yung mga taga-city. So, pwede natin yun siyang gamitin yung na comparative. Ang pwede natin gamitin na research design is comparative design. Ito another, yan. Comparative study of health problems among rural and urban locals of Palawan. Next is evaluative research. From the word evaluate. Seek to assess or judge in some way, providing information about something other might be gleaned in more observation or investigation of relationship. So, gusto lang nating magkaroon ng i-assess or i-judge yung information. So, pwede natin gamitan siya ng evaluative research. Example, where the NPS of the student's grade in a subject is used to assess the effectiveness of teaching. Yun, yung NPS ng student daw in a subject is used to assess the effectiveness of teaching. Pwede mo siyang gamitin na measure natin na effective yung teaching ng isang guro kung ang NPS ng student sa bawat subject ay mataas. Okay, so gusto natin evaluate, so pwede natin siyang gamitan ng evaluative research design. Methodological. In this approach, the implementation of a variety of methodologies forms a critical part of achieving the goal of developing a scale-match approach where data from different disciplines can be integrated. So, ginagamitan natin siya ng maraming methods. Okay, methodological. So, yun. Critical part of achieving developing scale-match approach where data from different disciplines can be integrated. So, kung maraming data ginagamit from different disciplines, okay, yun. Maraming methods na ginagamit. So, ang tawag dun is methodological research design. Under pa rin siya ng non-experimental. So, ano ba yung importance of quantitative research across field? So, people research to discover solutions to issues. Yung binanggit ko nga sa inyo nakaraan ng ating first video, yung research ay ang kanyang reason kung bakit yung nag-research is to discover solutions to issues. Kung may problema, kailangan bigyan siya ng solution through research. Even if they are tentative to improve or enhance methods of doing things, to refute or give a new hypothesis, or simply find answers to questions or solutions to difficulties encountered in daily life. Yan. Pwede natin gamitin yung research kapag mayroon tayong gusto i-improve or enhance, or gusto nating mabigyan ng solution yung mga na-encounter nating problem sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay, or gusto nating magkaroon ng kasagutan yung ating mga questions.